Hello, welcome to Play with AppSpy. My name is Rick, and today we're going to give a quick rundown of Vainglory, which is a MOBA, one of the big mobile MOBAs, and slowly becoming a viable entry into the esports world as it happens. So, just to give you a basic rundown, I'm assuming at this point you will probably have played the tutorial, so I won't patronise you too much. The tutorial does give you a very specific view of how the game is played, however, and it's generally better to go into this with a much broader idea of how the game actually plays. So you will have been given Jewel to play in the tutorial. Not a bad character if played well, but not a character I would recommend, particularly early on in the game, and she's not always on the free-to-play rotation, and she is relatively expensive compared to the cost of other characters. So, I would instead suggest that there are three characters who are of more interest, mainly because of their relative appearances in free-to-play rotation. They're regularly there, and because they're quite cheap to pay for with the soft currency, or even with the regular, if you wanted to pay real money to get involved with them. These three are Catherine, who is described as a protector, but is a very good sort of general character. You generally see her in the jungle, and very occasionally see her jumping into the lane to get into fights. Very versatile character, takes a lot of damage, gives a fair amount of damage too if you can build her the right way, and quite useful to have early on, which is a good character to get to know. Koshka is another one that you will regularly see in matches. Not a personal favourite, just because she's quite difficult to get the hang of and learn how to make her sort of work for you. But if you do learn how to use her, she's got tons of attack power, not all that much health, so quite easy to kill, but she is fantastic if you can hide, jump in, do some attacks, run away, jump back and attack again. Very good at jungling as well, so the early game you'll definitely want to have her in the jungle if you are playing as her. Excuse me for a sec. And then Ringo, who is a sniper. There's several snipers in the game. Ringo isn't really my favourite. That would go to Sky here, but as you can see, Sky's fairly expensive to buy and only appears occasionally in the free-to-play rotation, but she is very good. However, Ringo is also very good. He is quite weak early on, but you can counteract that by buying certain upgrades in the shop, and he is very useful just in general. You'll usually find him in the lane, because that's where the easier to fight enemies are, and you kind of want to just hold back and keep shooting things and try not to get in fights until later on, because you'll probably lose, and that's not a good way to make friends in the MOBA world. So we're going to jump into a game. I'm just going to go for a casual match. I haven't yet unlocked ranked matches as of the second to last update 1.14. Super Evil introduced a new mode called Draft Mode, which involves picking 8 characters to choose from and something like that. So you need 8 characters to play it. You need to have unlocked them. You can't just use characters in the free rotation. Kind of sucks, but there you go. I don't think free rotation characters can be used in ranked matches, but I'm not sure. I've never played one. I haven't got that far. You also need to be ranked 10, so you'll need to have played the game for a fair few hours before you can get into that. Matches usually, it says here matches usually take 20 to 30 minutes. It's closer to about 20 minutes. But it really depends on how good your team is, how good the opposing team is, and if everyone's on form on that day. So you hit accept to join the match. You need all 6 people. Now this is the character select screen. One of my fellow team has done something which is considered poor form, basically, is to jump in and immediately choose your character and then lock them in. It's generally nice to have your character that you'd like to play just sort of hovering there as an option, and then your teammate can choose to either steal that from you or just pick something else. But it's generally considered poor form to jump in and just take a character. You can also now, you can tap on your icon of your character and let your team know where you're going to be and how you're going to be leveling your character. In this case, because I like to play as him in this way, I'm going to be focusing on a weapon build, which I'll talk about in a bit, for Ringo, and I'll be in the lane because he's not very good in the jungle. So, this is the shop. I won't be going too much into it right now, but first of all, you probably want to buy whatever's in the recommended slot. It will usually be Weapon Blade, which gives you a small upgrade to your weapon power, to your attack power. Okay, I thought for a second there that Koshka was going to join me on the lane, but thankfully she didn't. That's good. If you're playing Koshka, don't go in the lane. Leave that to whoever's playing your sniper role. It's fun to have Koshka there in the lane. This guy's already started a fight with me, I don't know why. I would not recommend getting into fights early on. If someone starts attacking you, attack them back. Show no mercy. You know? Best way to deal with a bully is to just fight back. Don't let them take you down. So this would be you. It seems kind of boring at the start, but it's very effective to not get into fights like this guy's doing with me. Although clearly he's doing a very good job of it. So we'll go back to the shop and just quickly take a bit more of in-depth into the shop. If you want to focus on a specific build, weapon is the place to be for your red builds, so focusing on weapon attack power, so basic attacks mostly. If you want to focus more on your abilities, you'll want to buy the blue items in the ability section. You'll usually stay away from the defense area unless you really want to tank and draw power. Utility is just general stuff that will help you out. In this case, I am going to buy the sprint boots. And consumable, there is some argument to be had for buying a couple of potions and having them on you. Personally speaking, I wouldn't bother. I've never found a situation where having a potion was at all effective for me. The more effective course of action is just to run away. That's just how it is. So Ringo has disappeared off the map, so he's probably hiding. Yeah, I can see him attacking already. Probably hiding in a bush somewhere. General rule of thumb, you don't want to be hanging around the bushes at the bottom, because that's where people can spring out and attack you, so try and stick to the top of the lane to avoid getting surprise attacks. There are characters who can still hit you from this distance, but as a general rule of thumb, just stay away from that. All of them are jumping in now. See, Koshka's dealing a ton of damage already, and we're still quite early on in the game. But my team are jumping back in. I'm going to leg it once more. Get out of there. Useful little tip, you can stack the lower level items on top of your current items. So you don't always want to buy the best item there is. Sometimes you want to buy a few of the lesser items just to give you a little bit of an advantage. Apologies. Sometimes you can use these little icons at the top to tell your team what you're doing. You can also use the chat menu. I like to send a couple of beers out every now and then, just to be a bit cheery. You know how it is. It can be dangerous on the battlefield, and sometimes you just want to share a bit of holiday cheer. If you're doing something wrong and you're on a team who are taking this seriously, they will let you know that you're doing something wrong. So if someone starts firing question marks at you and you don't really know why they're doing it, have a look at what you're doing and go, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this anymore. Generally, though, don't bother listening to them, unless they tell you to go and attack a specific area, in which case I would recommend sticking with that. I'm not going to get too involved in a fight against a turret just yet. So your general aim is to destroy the line of turrets, destroy all the turrets in your path, and then get to the vein crystal. Mining's just started, which starts at 4 minutes in. Mining in this Mining here means that... Oh, good lord. I better get out of here. He's going to kill me. Yeah, so that's me dead. Always good, by the way, to jump into the shop while you're waiting to respawn. So I'm just going to make my guy a little bit faster. When mining begins, hopefully your junglers will have paid attention and will be going up against the minion mine, which will make your minions in your lane stronger. Apparently my team has just decided against that, but will hopefully be coming back to do it, unless they're stupid. Okay, Catherine's on her way. Always good to keep an eye on the minimap. If you're not really doing anything and you're not in any danger, I'm definitely in danger here because the enemy Ringo is... Oh, bit of lag there. Wow, that... Yeah, okay. That wasn't good. It's got question marked. Apparently I'm not doing a good enough job for these people. That's fair enough. I'm going to buy some health. If you look online, a lot of build guides will kind of gloss over health. Generally speaking, though, for my personal way of playing this game, you do want to have a health upgrade. You always want to have movement upgrades, because if you are slow and weak, people will destroy you. You might be good on the lane, you might be good, as a defense, but generally you always want to be on the attack in this game, and that means being fast so you can run away and having a bit more health behind you, just in case. Yeah, there we go. Get him out of there. Their entire team's here to take me on, but my team is showing up as well, so that's good. Oh, except maybe not, because we're about to get destroyed by them. Good. My team is useless. Okay. Never, ever, ever get into a fight against an entire enemy team by yourself, particularly as a sniper. It might seem tempting to try and just be like, get revenge on the enemy, but don't, for Pete's sake, do not get into a fight, as I just did there. I didn't mean to get into that fight, to be fair. So, we're going to go for the heavy steel upgrade, which I can get now, and that might give me a bit more of an advantage over the enemy. They're quite aggressive, this enemy, and I'm not sure how they've leveled up so fast, but there you go. If you really want to, you can surrender at any point in the match. Don't bother. Surrendering is stupid. Why would you play a game only to say, you know what, I don't think we should play this game anymore? The thing about Vainglory is you can turn it around in the last minute or so of the game. Maybe not last minute, last couple of minutes of the game. If everything looks bleak, you can still win. It is a fantastic game for just coming out of absolutely nowhere and taking the glory at the end of the game, end of a match. So personally speaking, never surrender. That's, just advice for life as well. I'm going to get it out of there. Retreat, but never surrender. So, yeah, not going to get in that fight either. Take a small break, in fact. So always make sure to keep your abilities upgraded. Every time you level up, upgrade something. Check your character, check what you're using them for and how you're using them. So never ever just upgrade what you think is going to be the best. Never ever always put all your points into ultimates. Because ultimates might not necessarily be particularly useful for your character. I've never found Ringo's ultimate to be that good. And there's me not following my and getting killed. Good work, Rick. What am I going to upgrade? I'm not really sure about breaking point. I'm going to go for another heavy steel, actually. Okay. Okay, so I think we're going to wind this down now. You get the general gist of it. You want to take on turrets, and you want to keep progressing up the lane. Stay in your parts of the map. I'll go on a quick tour. I take you on a quick tour of the jungle, but that doesn't seem particularly wise. Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to lose this match, and I'll finish off losing this match and not quit. Never quit. You'll get banned from playing games if you quit. So don't do that. If you do want to stop playing, surrender. Maybe the rest of your team will agree. But that's about all I'm going to give you for now. We might do some more detailed videos about characters and how to play them later on. But that's your general gist of the game. This has been Play with AppSpy. I've been Rick, and this has been Vainglory. Thank you very much for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe.